in an open primary where anyone can vote, not just Republicans, Democrats and independents, I got over 70% of the vote. Not because I became less conservative, but because I took our conservative principles to people who are living the way I grew up.
Marco Rubio claiming he can unify the Republican Party following his victory in Puerto Rico yesterday. But it appears that elsewhere around the country, voters do not feel the same. Rubio has lost 18 out of 20 nominating contests so far, but might that win in Puerto Rico give him momentum heading into the primary next week in his home state of Florida? For more, let's welcome in from our Newsmax newsroom, the managing editor of the Shark Tank, that Florida political blog, Javier Manjarres. Also joining us via Skype from Washington, Ari Rabin-Havt, host of The Agenda on Sirius XM Radio's Progress channel. We hope to make progress with you both tonight. Thanks for your time. Now, Javier, Friday, Rubio spent the whole day in Kansas, still came in third in that state's caucus. They're saying bad strategy and a poorly run campaign are killing his chances. In fact, today, Javier, the Washington Post said the Rubio campaign is in a meltdown. Do you agree?
Well, I don't think you can blame it all on the campaign. I believe there's been a lot of mistakes made in the campaign, a lot of strategic mistakes, but I think this all bears down to the bigger issue where Marco Rubio shot himself in the foot in 2013 when he signed up with the Gang of Eight and ruined his presidential chances then. As far as moving forward, I think he had a great day yesterday in Puerto Rico. I don't know how far this is going to get him because he's going to have to win all of the 99 votes here in Florida to even get close to Ted Cruz. And I don't see a pathway to victory for Marco Rubio unless this goes to a brokered convention.
Ari, we have noted before you love that whole thing when Republicans attack each other. 8 days away from the Florida primary, and with Rubio having so many eggs in the basket of his home state, probably needs some help from Jeb Bush. But we can recall when those two went after each other when Jeb was still running. Let's look and listen to one of their testy exchanges.
And you should be showing up to work. I mean, literally, the Senate, what is it, like a French work week? You get like 3 days where you have to show up. You can campaign or just resign and let someone else take the job. There are a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck in Florida as well. They're looking for a senator that will fight for them each and every day.
You know how many votes John McCain missed when he was carrying out that furious comeback that you're now modeling it under?
He wasn't my...
No, Jeb, I don't remember.
Senator.
Well, let me tell you, I don't remember you ever complaining about John McCain's vote record. The only reason why you're doing it now is because we're running for the same position and someone has convinced you that attacking me is going to help you.
So, Ari, after all this stuff, do you expect Jeb to come out sometime in the next 8 days supporting Marco Rubio in Florida?
The bigger question is, does it matter?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm asking that legitimately, not that Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio didn't both get elected statewide in Florida, but the voters of Florida know Jeb Bush. Republican voters certainly know Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush. And they don't seem to be on Marco Rubio's side. And if I'm not even looking at this as a Democrat, just as a political strategist, if voters know you, is the endorsement of Jeb Bush really going to be what puts you over the top? I don't think so.
Hey, JD, I agree, and I think it'll actually do Rubio more harm to get a Jeb Bush endorsement.
So really, this
Yeah.
does not help at all.
No.
You know, the other interesting thing, Javi, is already Senator Rubio appears to be lowering his expectations, saying his campaign doesn't ride on winning his home state. Now, wait a minute. That rhetoric sounds pretty risky to me. Basically, if he loses Florida, Javi, is he done?
Yeah, the fat lady has sung then if he loses Florida, because then those 99 votes go to either Ted Cruz or Donald Trump, and how's he going to? Like I said, the only pathway to victory that Rubio has, I see, is a brokered convention.
See, I don't even think that's a pathway to victory. And by the way, I think the fat lady sung a while ago. But if you did get to a brokered convention, once again, this isn't even as a Democrat I'm viewing this, just politically, a losing candidate in the primary is a terrible choice at a brokered convention. It would just anger everybody who voted for the two candidates who had more delegates.
Yeah, but now we're dealing with Donald Trump, where a lot of Republicans do not like Donald Trump. I see your point. I agree with Ari. I can't believe I agree with Ari 3 times in this segment. But yeah, but Donald Trump is the main factor. And I think establishment will get behind someone like Rubio or Cruz, regardless of the record throughout the primary.
But if that were to happen, guys,
yeah.
I got to tell you, it would so enrage the grassroots that it's like tying your shoelaces together at the start of the race.
It'll blow up the party.
Yeah, and you wouldn't mind seeing that, Ari, but do you share Javier's assessment?
Look, I think anytime you tell a bunch of you tell a bunch of voters that their votes didn't matter at all, it's going to anger those voters. And to say that wouldn't have any electoral implications. Look, on the Democratic side, it's why people like me are so angry about our superdelegate situation. It's because when you're telling voters that their votes don't matter, they're going to have a reaction to it.
And that situation, that dynamic, especially at work right now in the Republican Party, though we can see populism with Bernie Sanders' candidacy on the Democrat side of things, right now the Republican Party, if the establishment gets his way in a brokered convention, that could be problematic, and that's putting it mildly. Javier, Ari, we thank you both for your time tonight, checking in with your thoughts on these issues. With the passing of former First Lady Nancy Reagan, Americans are in mourning, but they're also celebrating the legacy of an incredible couple that changed America so much for the better. To remember Ronald and Nancy Reagan, Newsmax is offering you a free copy of the DVD Rendezvous with Destiny, the story of Ronald and Nancy Reagan, hosted by Newt and Callista Gingrich. This award-winning documentary tells the incredible story of the Reagans and their unshakable belief in America and our ideals. With the 2016 election so close, let's remember the Reagans and learn more of the true story of this iconic American couple as you've never heard it before. Get the DVD free as part of this special offer from Newsmax. Visit newsmax.com/destiny and learn more today.